Thank you for joining us for the online open house and live question and answer session about the MT200 Bridge Preservation Project. I'm Brandon Coates. I'm Public Involvement Manager with RBCI. We're contracted with MDT to help provide project information and to gather public input about the project. The Montana Department of Transportation is using these online meetings and presentations to engage with the public rather than in-person meetings due to the community health and safety concerns during COVID-19 pandemic. We do look forward to meeting with you again in person in the future. During today's online session, MDT and the project team members will provide an overview of the project, present the anticipated bridge repairs, and talk about the next steps in the project. A live question and answer session will be held immediately following the presentation to answer any of your questions. To participate in that Q&A session, first locate the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. It will allow you to type in and submit questions during the presentation. We will hold all questions and answer them after the presentation. The online sessions are being recorded, and a copy of this recording will be posted onto the project website. Please invite your neighbors, coworkers, and friends that couldn't attend the session to view the presentation and participate in the online survey. They can view that by visiting www.mdt.gov/pubinvolve/MT200bridge. That website address will be shown at the end of the presentation as well. The online survey will be available until November 1st. Now I'm going to turn over the microphone to the MDT District Administrator from the Missoula District, Bob Vosen.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I wish we could be doing this meeting live in person instead of utilizing Zoom like we are tonight. But again, it's the best we can do at this point. So again, my name is Bob Vosen. I'm the District Administrator for the Montana Department of Transportation's Missoula District, which is generally the western portion of the state of Montana. Tonight, I'm joined by a couple members of MDT, folks from Forsgren and RBCI, and we're here tonight just to explain the project and explain what, why, and when, I guess, is what we're going for with the project tonight. So MDT's mission is to serve the public by providing a transportation system and services that emphasize quality, safety, cost effectiveness, excuse me, economic vitality, and sensitivity to the environment. MDT maintains a staff with the resources and technical expertise needed to perform the workload for the majority of the state's transportation projects. However, when MDT does not have all the resources or technical expertise in-house readily available, we do hire consultants for specific project work. Consultants are an extension of our staff, capable of providing additional skills and experience, expertise, and providing quality work without increasing our in-house staff on a permanent basis. They are managed by the Montana Department of Transportation's consultant design engineer, and they work together with MDT project team and management to deliver projects for the public. So at this point, I'm going to let each member of the team tonight that's going to be presenting introduce themselves and explain their role within the project. So I will just start off on my list and work my way down. So you've already heard from Brandon with RBCI. So next is Jason. All right, hearing nothing. Adam.
Hi, I'm Adam Bass with Forsgren Associates. I was involved with the traffic control layouts for the bridge. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Adam. Andy?
Hi, everybody. My name is Andy Carlson. I also work for MDT. I'm the Missoula District Bridge Area Engineer, and my role in this project is to help facilitate and assist consultant design within MDT and Forsgren, our consultants, to make sure we have a successful project that meets MDT standards. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Andy. Brent, are you out there tonight?
This is Brent Schiller. I'm with Forsgren Associates, and I'm the project manager for Forsgren's team.
All right, and Kate?
Hi, I'm Kate Reed. I work with RBCI and I'm going to be helping with the Q&A session tonight.
All right, thanks, Kate. Patrick?
Hi, this is Pat Wickman with Forsgren Associates. I am an environmental scientist and I worked on the environmental review for this project.
Thanks, Pat. And last but not least, Terry.
Thanks, Bob. I'm Terry Voller. I work for the Consultant Design Bureau in Helena for Montana Department of Transportation. And my job is basically to administer the contract with Forsgren and RBCI for MDT. So I'm basically the liaison between MDT and the consultants, making sure that the work done is to Andy Cullison's satisfaction. Thanks.
Perfect, thanks, Terry. And did I miss anybody else out there tonight? All right, hearing nothing. I will move on to a little bit of an overview about the project. If we could go to the next, perfect. So MDT on this project is evaluating the bridge over Montana 200, the bridge on Montana 200, I'm sorry, that goes over the Montana rail length about 2 miles south of Noxon. This bridge was constructed in 1957 and it's in need of some repairs and some routine upkeep. MDT tries to keep the best return we can on our investments. And so this is kind of like the 100,000 mile checkup, if you will, on your car. We're going to do some needed maintenance. It's heavy maintenance, if you will, but we can still retain a huge portion of the value of that bridge. This project is going to be tied with 11 other projects on Highway 37 in the Libby to Eureka corridor. The reason we're tying these projects together is we see some benefits. There's some reduced costs due to the economy of scale. We also see reduced costs in administration of the contract. We save costs in mobilization. Also, we have some consistency in construction this way. Have one crew come in that has been doing the same type of work in other areas, so we see some benefits that way. And also, it'll a lot of times allow us to complete construction a little quicker. So to get into the more of the nuts and the bolts of the project, I'll turn it over to Andy.
Thanks, Bob. This is Andy Collison again. I'm going to quickly walk through the project's process and anticipated schedule. It was decided to organize the project schedule and process into a two-phase approach, an evaluation phase and a design phase. The evaluation stage started earlier this year and included office and field evaluations of each bridge. All the information from the evaluations was carefully considered to develop repair and rehabilitation needs and was documented in a draft bridge report. The intent of this public meeting is to share the findings and recommendations in the draft report with the public and request public comments. The next step will be to finalize the bridge evaluation report. In the final report, there'll be a section that documents public comments from today and discusses any items that MDT should consider during the design process. The design phase is anticipated to start in the beginning of 2021 and is anticipated to be completed later that year. In the design phase, the construction plans will be developed. The design phase will also include an opportunity for the public to comment prior to final design. The current schedule suggests that the earliest that construction could occur is in 2022. However, the funding for this project is not available in 2022, so construction will likely occur sometime after that, once funding becomes available. Okay, while I still have the stage, I also wanted to touch briefly on MDT's Bridge Bureau's organization and the services we provide. The MDT Bridge Bureau is tasked with keeping Montana's bridges safe, resilient, economical, and reliable. Similar to this project's two-phase development approach, the Bridge Bureau is organized into two sections, the Bridge Management section and the Bridge Design section. MDT's bridge management section provides condition inspection and load rate evaluation for the 5,000 plus bridges across the state. The bridge management section also evaluates and analyzes overweight permit loads and performs bridge maintenance on state-owned bridges. MDT's bridge design section provides design and engineering management on bridge replacement, rehabilitation, and preservation projects. The bridge design section also establishes and maintains design criteria and standards, participates in research projects, and promotes design initiatives to improve bridge performance and value. Thanks for letting me speak a little here today, and I'll now hand it over to Brent.
Thanks, Andy. Hello, everyone. My name is Brent Schiller, and as I said earlier, I am Forest Green Associates Project Manager. So our firm was tasked with performing a field visit to this bridge on Montana 200, reviewing a field data along with data from MDT, and then determining whether the bridge needed a deck replacement or a patch and overlay type of repair. We are then tasked to prepare the plans package for the work to be done by a contractor. As part of the field work, our team not only looked at the bridge, but the needed traffic control to perform the repair work, the potential environmental impacts, and if guardrail at the bridge ends needs to be repaired or replaced. So I want to describe the work involved with the two main repair types I just mentioned, deck replacement or patch and overlay. A patch and overlay type of repair involves removing unsound concrete or concrete that is saturated with high levels of de-icing salt, which will eventually cause deterioration. We then patch needed areas and provide a concrete overlay on the entire deck. A deck replacement is just how it sounds, a complete removal of the bridge deck and then replacing it with a new reinforced concrete deck. So at this point, we have performed the field visits and prepared a draft report that MDT is reviewing, and we are anticipating this bridge will need a full deck replacement. So look at the next slide here. So we anticipate that work for this deck replacement will be performed one half at a time. So work will occur in one half while traffic uses the other half, with traffic control in place to regulate traffic across the bridge. And our traffic control engineer, Adam Bass, he'll discuss the traffic control in just a few minutes. So just to let you know, while we're out there, our field crew performed a sounding test on the deck. It's called chaining, which indicated the deck surface to be 77% delaminated, or in other words, 3/4 of the deck is delaminated. And delaminated means the concrete separating from the reinforcing steel, likely due to rusting of the reinforcing steel. The rust expands, causes the concrete to separate and eventually break up. And also MDT maintenance crews have told us that the deck is constantly in need of repair work. And as you can see in the photos on the slide, that the concrete deck shows visible signs of previous patching and ongoing deterioration. So all those pothole looking things are. Taking all this information together, we've concluded this deck is in a severe state of deterioration and is in need of a more extensive work that could be provided by a patch and overlay. The high amount of delamination, along with the need of constant maintenance, makes this a good candidate for a full deck replacement. Since we'll be removing the entire deck, the existing bridge railing will be removed along with it, and the new deck will have a bridge railing that has the current safety standards. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Adam Bass to discuss the traffic control.
Thank you, Brent. I'm Adam Bass with Forest Green Associates, and I was involved with the traffic control layout for the bridge. And the project team anticipates that traffic during construction for the bridge will be controlled using a two-way single lane traffic configuration that will close one lane at a time, as Brent discussed earlier. This will allow for vehicles to use one lane while construction operations are conducted within the other lane. As you can see in this schematic, there are temporary signals being used away from the construction zone. The temporary traffic signals will be placed a distance from the work zone to safely allow movement of vehicles through the construction zone during construction operations. And with that, that concludes the general idea of our traffic control layout. And so with that, I'd like to pass it over to Pat Wickman, who will talk about environmental considerations for the project.
Thank you, Adam. Hello, everyone. As Adam mentioned, I'll be talking about environmental. So as part of all MDT construction projects, MDT is required to prepare an environmental study to document the effects of the action, or in this case, the project, on the social, economic, and natural environment. Guidance and rules for this comes under the Montana Environmental Policy Act, MEPA for short, and the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA for short. When there are federal funds, the Federal Highway Administration requires NEPA compliance, which may be the case for this project. The size and scope of those effects, that is the significance of impact from the proposed action, dictate the type and magnitude of the environmental document that is prepared. So for this bridge project, MDT has had Forest Grant conduct a site investigation to look for potential environmental concerns and document the environmental baseline at the site. So at the bridge site, we looked at nearby wetlands, bird nests on the bridge, potential for environmental contamination, oil spills, etc., the ability for wildlife to cross under the bridge, and potential staging area locations. This information is summarized in the draft bridge report that will be released later by MDT. Our review showed that the bridge had no concern serious enough for us to not assume that the project could be reviewed and permitted with a environmental study known as a categorical exclusion. These CADXs, for short, have no significant impacts from proposed pod projects and do not require MDT to analyze alternatives to the proposed action. So future steps will be for MDT to prepare the CADX document, which will also include documentation of the public outreach process. So now I turn the microphone over to Brandon to talk more in depth about the next steps on this project.
Thank you, Pat. Public input collected as part of this online open house and through the online survey, as well as the continued environmental and design analysis, will be considered in the development of the design and planning for construction. MDT plans to hold in-person public meetings if and when possible in the future to share information about the project and to gather information from the public that will help in the development of the construction plans. The next public meeting is planned for 2021. Construction could begin as early as 2022, as Andy talked about. It is depending on funding availability, however. MDT is planning to use a variety of methods to communicate with the public throughout the design and the construction of the project. Some of those methods include online meetings like this one today, in-person meetings, mailers and postcards, news media, social media, email and text messages, especially during construction, and updates to the project website. MDT's posted a survey on the project website to gather more comments about the improvements. If you have friends or neighbors that were not able to participate in the online meeting, you can direct them to the project website where they can view a recording of the presentation and take the online survey. The survey includes questions about how to best communicate project information with you now and during construction. Please submit your survey by November 1st. I'd like to again thank you for participating in the development of the project. Keeping the public informed throughout the project is a priority for MDT. If you have any questions or comments at any time, please feel free to contact me. Again, I am Brandon Coates. I'm the Public Involvement Manager with RBCI, and my email is brandon@rbci.net. And with that, that concludes the presentation portion of our public meeting. And I will turn to Kate to see if we have any questions.
Hey, Brandon, this is Bob, and I do want to interject one thing just to make it abundantly clear to anybody that's watching or listening to our presentation, and that is that the bridge deck as it currently is completely safe. MDT has a bridge inspection process. We are constantly inspecting and monitoring our bridge for safety, and there's no concerns with the general safety of this bridge. And the discussion of the delaminating concrete is at this point mainly surface level. So again, I just want to stress that the bridge is safe for continued use, and we will continue to monitor it as we have been. So thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Bob. Kate, have we had any questions come in?
No, Brendan, we don't have any questions at this time. I do have a question from Terry, actually. He said, how about the railroad? Will there be any concerns regarding their operation? Brent or Bob, do you want to answer that?
So I can answer that one. Anytime we have a project where we're working either adjacent to or over top of or underneath the railroad, we have a project agreement that we enter into with the railroad to make sure that we've got safety of all users accounted for, and also the protection of the railroad's infrastructure. So that will take place in this project. We will have a project agreement with the railroad, and steps will be taken to ensure to minimize, if not completely eliminate, any disruption to the railroad service.
Thanks, Bob. I don't see any other questions, Brandon, if you want to wait a few more minutes.
Okay, I just want to remind people that are watching this presentation that the project website at www.mdt.mt.gov/pubinvolved/MT200 bridge that's on the screen now. That is the best source for getting information, including contact information for the project. You'll find the survey there through November 1st as well. So seeing no further questions, I think we will go ahead and end our online open house today. And I want to thank everybody for participating, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions you may have. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, Brandon.